I am back from Europe. Where to even begin to tell this story? Let's just start at the airport. This adventure is a little bit different because I will be traveling with other people. In fact, two of my favorite people, my mom and my sister. And yes, me and my sister did get matching sweatsuits for the airport.
Pringles. This is in the shade Rich.
Roll-ups. Cool mint, baby.
My person's favorite.
Sunset.
Gotta get the garden salsa.
Walking through the airport. Walking through the airport. Oh, they have Shark Week.
Now, my mom flew out to Italy about a week before us to have her own solo traveler moment. And it was up to me and my sister Emily to get our butts all the way to Milan. We had 3 connecting flights with a layover in Iceland.
Puffin', puffin'.
Puff, puff, puffin'.
Look at it. Subscribe.
And after about 26 hours of traveling, we finally made it to Italy.
Oh my god. 26 hours of travel later and we're here.
Now we figured we would need a day or two to recover from the traveling and the jet lag, so we booked a hotel that was in kind of just like a normal town, like not a touristy spot. But the whole foreign country differences started showing up pretty much immediately. Like with our first meal there, the hotel breakfast, with its large assortment of deli meat and cheese. Also cake and a very, very fancy espresso machine, as well as croissants everywhere. And I don't know how, but I did not get along with the shower there. It had like a door and a weird head thing. I don't know. But I did appreciate the massive bath towel.
It's literally from here all the way to my feet. In the US, towels are like, don't even really cover your...
I don't know why it was so big. And when we were finally rested enough to check out the town, which may I remind you was just a normal town where people just live. There's just like casually these castles and giant church building things, just casually, like just there. Whereas if one of these buildings was in the US, it would probably be like a national monument. And looking back, it's actually pretty laughable how impressed we were with these because what we went on to see was even crazier. We went to our first bakery abroad.
Whoa.
It's like flaky, crusty, crispy.
Ooh, is there like a little creamy thing in there?
And we got our first Italian gelato.
Oh my god.
This is strawberry or fragola or something like that.
The lemon is like...
Our first Italian olive.
Okay, we gotta cheers.
Oops.
And we tried some sparkling wine.
That is some dry potato.
So after those 2 recovery days, just getting our first taste of Italy, we were ready to pack up and head to some more touristy spots.
Mom, how's the packing going? Oh!
So good.
So good.
Gonna take some magic, but we got it.
This will be the 3rd train I've ever gotten on in my life.
This day we had to get on 2 different trains, and with a pretty rushed connection to the next train and a couple dozen games of thumb wars.
No.
That was a good fight.
We arrived to our first real sightseeing spot. But dropping our heavy bags was the first priority.
Free comb.
And our second priority was finding some food. We'd be hanging out at this spot for a couple of days, so we went and casually saw another castle, some beautiful canals, walked to the tallest point we could find, found some snacks, enjoyed the lake view, found some more food, and pretty much just walked around until we couldn't anymore. Oh, it's harder than I thought. Now the next day was all about checking out another town on Lake Garda. And the main reason we were over there was to see this specific castle. I guess a less casual one.
Swan! This is not a drill! Also, the castle's beautiful.
And fun fact about my sister, but she's really into bird watching, so you know we were out there identifying new birds. This one is the Eurasian coot, and this one is the great cormorant. And look how it dives down. I just love that. Also, look at the coot's feet. Those are crazy. You can't see them in the water, but they're really cool. They're cool feet. But yeah, the castle was great, and I was really debating bringing this dress because there's a lot of fabric, so it didn't fold up very small, and I didn't have a lot of room in my backpack to bring things like that. But I mean, when else am I gonna be like hanging out around castles? So I had to bring the princess dress, and I actually brought another one that was almost identical, and they were well worth the space because look how cute I look.
Mom, what would you give this castle?
10 out of 10.
A 10 out of 10?
10 out of 10.
Oh my god!
2, 3, go. Look at this cross section. Yeah.
After lunch and a pit stop at a very strange looking toilet, we headed to a nearby park to wait for our walking tour to begin. We saw this sign that we thought was a tour to like go into the castle because we only saw it from the outside. And we paid like €8 and we were waiting around, and then we finally got in line and they basically just like put us on a boat.
I thought we were taking a walking tour of the castle.
Well, this is better.
But we weren't complaining. It was so hot that day, and it actually took us all around the whole peninsula. It was super cool. Best walking tour I've ever been on. And when we got back to the castle, we got to go under like the drawbridges. It was pretty cool.
How can you go? There's no sugar in the lemonade, so it tastes very sour.
Here, you try it for the vlog.
There's no aid in it. It's just the lemon.
Guys, I bought a hat. Does it look good with this fit? It's so cute. I love it.
Then we hopped on the original boat so we could get back to the hotel where we were pretty much done for the night. I posted a YouTube video, and guys, look at the timeline on this one. I worked really hard on this one. You should go watch it.
Please go watch it.
I didn't know what you meant. I thought you meant that button.
And by this point, we were kind of getting into a routine, so we would wake up early, go down to the hotel breakfast, eat as much as we could.
Why do the knives not have anything?
And this specific day, we were going to Venice, a very popular spot. It's so easy to kind of have a home base, and then you can just take the train out for day trips, so that's what we were doing. And some of the trains that we were riding were kind of like a free-for-all, like you bought a ticket and then it was like sit wherever you can find a spot. Sometimes they were super busy, sometimes they weren't. But that day we were feeling super fancy because we bought a ticket where we had an assigned seat. We were all gonna be able to sit together and it was gonna be very relaxing on our way to Venice. No, that is not what happened at all. So when we got up to our seats, there were people already sitting in them. And you know, that happens. So you show them your ticket like, oh, well, I think this might be my seat. No, it was their seat because we accidentally booked the tickets for like the wrong day, like a week out or something. Whoops. So we looked around for other seats. There were no other seats. The train had already taken off. Like, we're stowaways at this point. Luckily, after the first stop, 2 seats opened up. So my sister and my mom took those. And I kind of was just like hanging out, trying to look super casual because there are people that come around and check your tickets. And they usually only check like a few people on the train, not everybody. So I was just trying to look natural and I contemplated hiding in the bathroom. At one point I was sitting on Emily's lap and every time we came to a stop, we were just hoping that we weren't sitting in somebody's seat. And to other people, this would probably seem like no big deal. Like if you get stopped, you're just gonna be like, oh, hey, I bought the ticket for the wrong day, my bad, stupid American, my fault. But the thing about my family, we do not break the rules. We are not rule breakers, we are rule followers. And so we were just freaking out the whole time. These are actually the texts that we were exchanging between each other during this whole ordeal. It was hilarious. Like, we were actually talking like we were stowaways. So very stressful train ride. We did end up getting to Venice.
That was the hardest thing I've ever done. My mom taught me not to do that.
We don't break the rules. So, let's get out of here while we still can. Before we go to train jail.
I highly recommend buying a ticket for the correct date.
And one thing I love about the trains is that the train stations are usually like right in the middle of all the cool stuff. So you get dropped off and this was the first view that we got to see. We crossed the super cool bridge and then we tried to go like away from the crowds and go down like these super cool winding streets. You can 100% get lost in Venice because it's like crazy. Every time you would come to a turn and like see the canals, it was just so beautiful. The buildings are super colorful. The water's like bright blue. I tried to take a picture of seriously every single street, canal street. I tried to take all of them and eventually we all just had to be like, okay, that's enough pictures. This place is crazy. Let's keep moving. We stopped for lunch and in this plastic container was the best lasagna I have ever had in my entire life. I've been having dreams about it ever since. It was so good. And one thing I wanted to show you guys was that all of the water bottles that I bought in Europe had the cap attached. So I think that was like a new law. It's a little annoying at first, but I think it's to avoid litter. So that's pretty cool. Then we hit a more touristy section, the Rialto Bridge, where there are a bunch of shops like on the bridge. And I don't know, it's one of those things you just have to see. Another very popular thing to do there is visit St. Mark's Basilica, like a really beautiful big church. And let me just say that I have thoughts about things. I am all about respecting culture and I have been to multiple places around the world that will ask you to dress conservatively to go to religious sites. So cover your shoulders, your arms, and cover your legs, your knees, all that good stuff. Now, I don't really agree because I don't believe that bodies are inappropriate. Didn't God make my elbows and shoulders and all that? You tell me. But I'm going to respect that because that's what is being asked of me and that's fine. Where I have the problem is when the rules are not the same for the men and the women. Now, I wish I would have taken a picture, but this is my artistic recreation of what I was seeing. The man and the woman were wearing the same exact thing and the man was allowed to go through and the woman was not. If knees are not allowed, men's knees should not be allowed and women's knees should not be allowed. It's fine, but keep it the same. I did some digging and on the official website, That is supposed to be the rule, but I guess in practice, in real life, that was not what was happening, so that's annoying. But I guess the official rule is that neither of these people should have been allowed into the church. It's totally fine, but it's not. Anyway, either way, we are following the rules because like I said, we're rule followers. And me and my mom were wearing shorts and Emily was wearing a sleeveless shirt. So either way, we all had to cover up. Luckily, and how conveniently, there were merchants like right outside of the church selling these perfectly length scarves. And at first I was mad, but it's okay. I embraced it later. You'll see.
Mom, show it.
Why does it look like a perfect skirt?
There we go. But the women's knees are not allowed. Too distracting.
Kills me. I do have some pretty sexy knees. So.
And this was the first of many churches I was gonna be able to go to in Europe. And I distinctly remember like when I first walked in and looked up and just went, oh my gosh.
What do you think, Mom?
This is amazing.
It's
So beautiful.
There was a section of the church where you could pay extra to go up on the second floor.
Mom.
Holy crap. And check out this museum area where we learned that all of these images you're seeing on the walls and the ceiling are actually made of tiny little colored stones.
Like they're just chunks of rocks. Why did I think they would not be like that?
So from far away it looks like paint, but it's actually stones. So cool.
I love the stripes with the paisley.
Getting off of the roof was low-key scary because look at these stairs. But when we returned to the streets, we were really feeling our new scarves. We were like wearing them all cute like and stuff. So I like my scarf now. It's okay. And at this point, we had wandered pretty far from the train station, so we ended up getting a water taxi to take us back on the Grand Canal. When we got to the station, we bought the tickets for the right dates, so that was good. And then I had to pay €1 to go to the bathroom. I didn't like that. I did not like that one bit. We all had to. €3. It's a little uneven. I need to find a Vespa. I need to wear this with a Vespa.
We're 9 minutes late and we have an 8-minute layover, so do the math.
So
We're gonna miss our train. Or we already missed it.
we might have already missed it. We don't even know.
And yes, we did miss our second train, but a lot of these lines are just running continuously, so the most you're gonna have to wait is like 15 or 20 minutes for the next one to come. It wasn't that big of a deal. The train station had a splash pad right outside of it, so we were good.
This is nice. You're just. One thing about me is I'm gonna pick any and all flower. Yeah. Right, guys?
Yes.
I don't care if it's on private property. I will come into your yard. And Mom's like, do not post that. Been to road, Mom.
What?
What's your reaction? She's in the road.
Get out of the road.
Stop.
And that's the majority of the Italian part of my trip to Europe. Next week, I'm going to show you what we did in Lake Como, but then we're headed to Switzerland and then Germany, and It's gonna be so fun. So make sure that you're subscribed so you don't miss out on the next video. And thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next one. Telly. Oh, you gonna stay a while? Tell them to subscribe.